Morning. Welcome back to Duty's Daggers. It's very cold out. I have my face thing on. I don't know what it's called. Anyways, I look like a knight. Looks like chainmail or something. So, knife of the year. What's the best knife of 2024? I have decided, and that's for me, out of all the knives that I've tried, not all the knives ever that came out this year, just the ones that I've bought and tried and owned and, carried and all that stuff. The Drift LCT from Quiet Carry is not knife of the year. Gotcha. It's very close. I was really battling with myself over, deciding on if this would be it. And the reason it's not is one thing: the weight. It's heavy and the blade is thin. So that makes the balance feel off. Whenever I would hear reviewers say the balance of the knife was off and felt weird, I always thought, well, whatever, what's the big deal? Like, balance, who cares? You're just cutting stuff. But now I get it with this knife. It just feels weird when you're using it. There is milling on the inside, but they could have done much more. These titanium scales are quite thick. Very thick. That's the full thickness you're seeing right there. And it's just a little heavy, and I think it has a lot to do with the balance as well as being heavy, because I carry knives that are about this heavy. Namely, my Demco 8020 is about this heavy, and it doesn't bother me on that knife, I guess because the balance is better. That's it, and after carrying this quite a few times now, I think that I would decide to keep the Drift Large over this. It's just better in the pocket. It's thinner, lighter. It's a little thinner blade stock. And I think it's just proportioned better with the weight and blade stock thickness and all that stuff. So this is not knife of the year, but it's an amazing knife. Now, if you take all the weight and balance stuff out of it, this is incredible. Really, really excellent knife. So many very fine details. The clip is excellent. It's quite slicey. The just everything, even down to this little cutout that they do right here on the lock bar to make it a little easier to get to the reverse flick. Right there, little cool detail. Flush butt. We got a flush butt. Now, the reverse flick is okay, but the shape of the hole, or perhaps the size of the hole, makes it not the best reverse flicker I've tried. Especially when I first was using the knife, I would get snagged up a little bit in there. But the thumb flick is excellent on this knife. The hole is perfect for the thumb flick. So those are my two nitpicks: the weight, balance, and then this hole being not quite the right shape for a really nice reverse flick. So what is knife of the year? Now, this knife I carried a lot, and continue to carry a lot. It's a knife that I did not expect to like this much at all. In fact, even when I very first got it, I wasn't quite sure about it. I thought, man, is this, I don't know, I'll say this, I really liked it, but it grew on me so heavy. It grew on me quickly and abundantly. And it's a slip joint. It's the American Blade Works slip joint. This, I think, is my knife of the year, surprisingly. This thing is just really, really freaking good in a lot of ways. And I still have my nitpicks with this. You know, it's not perfect. But I find myself putting this in my pocket over a lot of my other slip joints. And that's kind of the deciding factor, right? In knife of the year is it makes its way into your pocket over other knives. And this is that's absolutely true with this knife. This has gone in my pocket over my Jack Wolves, over my Ohio River Jacks, my Hedgehogs, even my GECs. This has gone in my pocket before. And I still love those knives, and I'll still carry them and cycle them in. But this, a lot of the time, has made its way in above those other knives. So let's talk about why I think it's the best knife. And then I'll go over my little nitpicks later. Let's start with the blade. I think this is a perfect blade shape for a little slip joint to put in your pocket. Now, for me, a slip joint of this size is kind of a backup knife. Like, I would probably carry a locking knife with it, along with it. And that's how I usually carry it. And, you know, that's just me. This could be your only knife that you carry. You can absolutely get your work done with this knife. It's enough blade length to do pretty much anything you want. But for me, it's usually mostly like a backup knife that I use quite a lot. Mostly for utility type cutting, you know. I got a piece of cardboard on the table, and I need to cut out a template for this part I'm making. So, you know, I'm cutting along the cardboard, utility cuts, opening stuff up, packages, whatever. And this blade shape is perfect for that stuff. Sheep's foot, flat, no belly, hollow ground, and very thin behind the edge. That's something that most of my slip joints do not have. Well, the GECs are pretty freaking thin. The Hedgehog is kind of thin. The ORJs are not that thin. Some of my Jack Wolves are, some aren't at all. Some are actually pretty thick. This is very nice and thin. The blade steel is magnet cut, and it's really good. It holds an edge very nicely. The sharpening choil could use a little work. You can see that when I sharpened it, I kind of hit the plunge grind a little bit, so it could be a little bigger, but it's not bad. And what else? The stonewash is really nice on it. Really nice stonewash on the blade. There we go. The handle. I love this kind of pinstriped texture on this titanium handle. I love the branded pivot. Just says ABW right there, and on the other side it says Made in USA. Love to see that. That's the only branding on the knife, is just on the pivot, and it's kind of subtle. I love that. I love the shape of the handle. It's elegant. It feels good, even though I'm not really holding the knife like this very often, mostly like this. It's perfect for a pinch grip. You know, it's kind of arced here, perfect for 3 of your fingers to kind of lock in, and your 4th to be on the spine there, putting down pressure behind the tip. It's great. I think overall this knife looks really good. I really like the look of it. The back spring, this is where my nitpick comes in. The back spring is not flush all the way down. Toward the middle, it kind of dips down a little bit. The edges are all rounded, so they don't meet each other at a perfect 90. There's kind of like a little dip in between them in here. That kind of bugged me at first. If you look at like Do I have another slip joint? I don't have a different. Oh, yeah, I do. Like the hedgehog here. All those corners are perfect 90s. So there's no gap in between them. On the ABW there is, and you can see what I mean right there. That bothered me a little bit. The walk and talk is okay. It's not amazing. The half stop to open is a nice pop though. Really nice. The other ones, like open to half stop, it's okay. Half stop to close, pretty lackluster. Actually, close to half stop is decent, and then half stop to open is okay. I guess mainly the closing is where it becomes a little lackluster. And I have a little bit of blade play. Just a little bit. If I tighten that out, the walk and talk gets really bad. Like the pivot's too tight. When you go to like snap it shut, it won't even really go. You kind of have to just manually like close it. It's not a perfect knife, like I said. But that really goes to show how good it is that I'm willing to overlook those couple things and claim this to be my knife of the year. The other things are so good that the okay walk and talk, the little bit of blade play, whatever, I'm fine with it. I really encourage you to get one of these. They just did a drop kind of recently, and I hear that he's making more. So jump on it. And lastly, the price. This knife I think was like $150, right around there, for a USA made premium slip joint, titanium Magna Cut, for $150-ish is awesome. Now, this does not have the level of fit and finish that a Jack Wolf has, for example, or an Ohio River Jack. Those are Chinese made. But it's still really good, the fit and finish. And the price. I mean, for a Jack Wolf, you're paying $300. An Ohio River Jack's like $200, which is a lot more reasonable. But $150 for USA made, you can't beat that. That's crazy. So all of those factors combined, this is my knife of the year. I love it. Get one on the next drop if you can. I really recommend it. I think you'll find it goes in your pocket a lot. So that's it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your knife of the year? That's it. I love you guys very much. I will see you soon. Happy New Year.